It's crazy. I feel like it was early December and Black Canyons was 12 weeks away, and all of a sudden it was race day. "100 kilometers was a new challenge. I've raced a 100 miler, and this was another new and different challenge that I was excited to explore. Every race is another opportunity for me to test myself. Have I improved? Am I getting faster? Can I go further distances? It's the ultimate day for me to see what I'm capable of. And it's this never-ending quest to see is there even more? Can I go even further? Can I go faster? Can I reach the next goal or accomplish that next challenge that I set for myself? My longtime running sponsor, Hoka, had given me one of their sponsor entries into Western states that I will forever be grateful for. But I also wanted to prove to myself, to my fellow competitors, that I deserved to be on that start line. I wanted to earn my start there in June. Feel like, yeah, I have a ton to pack, but I really don't. I'm like trying to pare down from my Javelina 100 experience last year. I brought way too much. Need one. Okay, get rid of that. I'm gonna race in this top. Eventually, maybe only this if the sun comes out, but I think I'll definitely be starting with a long sleeve on. This is still pretty thin, but I think it'll be fine. I mean, you get warm when you're running. Definitely some gloves. Why do I feel like there was something else I wanted to get? 2 watches. My watch lasted the entire 100 miles, which was a 15 plus. One will be fine for 100K. Battery was great, but bring it back up. Got a new heart rate strap. I don't think I'm gonna need a headlamp for this one. So, but I will bring it for the morning if you need it for warming up in the morning.
Right.
Yeah. Very pared down. That's why I feel like I'm forgetting things, but yeah, basic. Maybe taking off a layer because I'm thinking I'm gonna have to start with a long sleeve on because it's gonna be cold at like in the 40s and then warm up a bit later. So hopefully more streamlined.
Cool. Yeah, you'd probably start with that headlamp too, and then probably have to, maybe, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. I think it's 7 a.m. start, so.
It's, well, 7 a.m. is not the same 7 a.m. at Pacific time. They have Arizona time.
Oh, God. Yeah, exactly. Special time. Our own time. So. Perfect. Yeah, I think that's it. If there's anything that comes up or you think of anything or any...
Yeah, we'll figure out the camping location.
Okay.
And then get back with you on that. And then I mean, it doesn't really matter too much in a sense, but just for logistics on race morning for us to get the van somewhere. But yeah, I think we're looking pretty good.
Perfect. Yeah. Just pre-race nerves in a good way. It's good. I'm nervous. I'm not going to, I don't know. Like any race nerves you get that you're not going to perform to what you hope you can do, but I don't know what that is even, so there's really no, I've never done 100K, so.
30 minutes before the start.
30 minutes to go. It's actually only like 10 minutes till I line up, though, I think.
There's nobody there.
This is just like Kona. We are literally the first people in transition. We are the first people at the start line. Oh, that's awesome.
We are sitting in studio
It's
with
amazing.
Chris Warden and Matt Feldick, and we really are so proud to be part of this broadcast team, and we are just so grateful for all the hard work that they put into the trail running community. So I hope you all are also similarly filled with gratitude for this amazing broadcast experience that we'll be getting into today. Corinne, you have run this race in the past. You are a 2020 finisher of the Black Canyon 100K. Maybe give us a brief recap of your experience here and what the athletes are going to be confronting.
Yeah, so it's a, I think, deceivingly hard course on paper. You're like, oh, it's kind of rolling through a bunch of desert. Like, how hard can it be? Turns out it can be pretty hard. The runners are going to be kind of suckered in by it's a net downhill race, and the first 50K is especially net downhill. I've had athletes PR their 50K in the first 50K of this race.
Right?
You don't want to do that. It's a good way to have a really bad back 50K. But essentially, they're going to be starting up a little bit higher, up a little bit colder, run net downhill for 50K. The race takes a turn around mile 30 to 35 or so, where some real climbing really begins. It's also a really relentless race. Brett was calling it micro elevation. There's a lot of micro elevation in this race in which, it's kind of deceptive, but it really adds up over time. Also, the terrain underfoot, while not overly technical, is very, very rocky in places, and you are tripping, you're stubbing your toes. You have to be focused and on the entire time for 8, 9, 10, 16 hours out there, and that can really wear and tear on you. So while the back half of the race I don't think is like more technical than the first half, on tired legs it's not easy running.
Yeah.
Runners, if you have your warm-up bag, go ahead and toss it in the field. We're warming up, we're getting ready to line up for your desert adventure today.
That could be an epic blow up. But I mean, I'd rather leave it out there like that, I think, than, well, I don't know. Can you walk away from these being like, I didn't push it hard enough? I don't know. I don't know if that's possible.
Your husband Mike made a bold prediction this morning, and I'm wondering if you're going to support it or not. And that was that 5 men would go under 8 hours and 5 women would go under 9 hours. Is that too bold?
I think that's a little bold. Conditions are pretty nice today. I think the 5 men under 8 hours, I feel a little bit better about. 5 women under 9 hours is pretty tough. I don't think we've had that many women go under 9 hours here. Maybe Claire was still 9:0 something last year, which was a much hotter year. But yeah, that's a bold statement. I disagree with half of it.
Yeah, I think only 2 women have run under 9 hours historically on the true course, which we're actually going to be running today. So that would be quite something to behold, but I don't know. I may agree with Mike in this situation.
Well, Elsa McDonald was one of those women who's gone under 9 hours here, and she's back in this race today. And 2018 Elsa McDonald, very, very fast. She was in Western States that year and then did not have the day she wanted. I remember, I think, catching her at mile 80 and just knew that something was like terribly wrong.
Yeah.
And then came back last year and got all the redemption she needed. So much so that she's not going back to Western States this year, but just really loves competitive racing in the desert. And so I think that she could be someone, along with like Heather Jackson, all of a sudden pushing at the front.
I also don't want to get too caught up early on and go way too hard. But I don't know what that means. So what is way too hard at the start of these? I don't know.
Sort of spring conditions here at the Black Canyon 100K.
I know. I feel like we've got multiple screens in front of us, and I'm like staring at the little screen, trying to pick out people on the start line. We're getting the aerial shot. There's Heather Jackson on the start line there, in that Hoka kit, the kind of the sunrise blue to orange.
There's Reed Burrows.
Oh, Reed! Excited to see how Reed does
Another
today.
Canadian, adding to the international flavor here today. And Heather Jackson, we were just talking about off air that she was a collegiate ice hockey player at Princeton, much like Allie McLaughlin, two fantastic athletes in the sport coming from women's ice hockey backgrounds. And of course, like I just mentioned, Heather Jackson, one of the best Ironman triathletes in the world, a multiple-time top 5 finisher.
Yeah, running a 3:05 marathon off the bike, running a 1:21 half marathon off the bike. Those are really, really impressive times indeed. Excited what she can do today after what we witnessed at Javelina back in October.
No doubt. So we are just about a minute ahead of the start of this year's Black Canyon 100K. It looks like sort of overcast conditions, again, high 30s Fahrenheit. So it seems like kind of perfect conditions to get started here for what is going to be a long, hard, fast race at the front of the field.
Also looks like we've got Eden Nielsen now on the front line, Tom Evans, couples both on both sides of the flank here. So I'm excited to see those two take it out maybe for the women and men today.
Oh, and we should mention that Tom Evans is coaching Ingvild Kaspersen.
And here we go. The 2023 Black Canyon 100K is off from the Mare track, Mare, Arizona. And from what I read, of the description of the course, it starts off with a little bit of fire road, Jeep road, before they merge onto the single track of the Black Canyon Trail, which will carry them 62 miles to the finish line near New. So if you're just joining us here, again, we are only 10 minutes into today's race, and on the line are 4 golden tickets to the Western States 100. That has produced one of the most competitive fields, I think, in recent memory here in North America. Certainly one of the most competitive, if not the most competitive golden ticket race in history here at the 2023 Black Canyon 100K. That means that 2 men and 2 women will receive automatic entry into the 2023 Western States 100, the oldest and most important 100-mile trail race in North America. So there is a lot to compete for out on the race course beyond bragging rights, beyond personal pride. It is a chance to race on the world's biggest stage at Western States in 4 months' time.
See how it goes. I'm just excited. It's a new challenge. There's no pressure. There's no stress. It's new. It's something I've never done before, and that's what I'm excited about, to see what I'm capable of, what is possible, what can happen over 62 miles of running. And beyond that, I mean, this area is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm excited to see what these trails are like, and just see and experience a new, beautiful place. I mean, I get to do this. I get to run on these trails. I get to look around me out there tomorrow at various points and be like, wow, this is incredible. So above everything, to enjoy it and have fun. But meanwhile, yeah, see what my body is capable of.
Yeah, and we won't have great in-depth detail as far as like what runners are in that pack until we get an aid station split. That goes for the women's race as well, because the women's race will be filtering through these men's groups. Heather Jackson could very well be one of those Hoka singlets in the 20 runners we can see on our screen right now going on that road. Would not surprise me one bit, but we won't be able to get great names and splits until we have them come through an aid station. So
but maybe I don't want to go out too hard in the first 5 miles.
Heather Jackson is through Antelope Mesa. 52:09 is the split.
So that is well under course record split here. Let me pull that up here.
Eden Nilsson is second through that. We got her about a minute back of Heather Jackson.
So they are about 3.5 to 4 minutes under course record pace here at Antelope Mesa. Unbelievable. Women's race off to a hot early start.
Zach, what was it like having all those guys come through that aid station just now?
As typical with this Antelope Mesa aid station, it was just right through. No one stopped. No one took a minute to grab water, anything. It is only 5 miles to the next aid station, all downhill. Just see Keely Henniger coming through right now. To recap the women's race, I mean, the men were just packed. It was a standard pack of all the expected athletes and a few of those unknown athletes that can always break out today. We know it's on the line. We know everyone's working hard. With the women coming through, Heather Jackson came in 52 minutes. She was hauling, went through, looked fresh, looked amazing.
How fast can I run for 62 miles? I've never done it. I've run 100 miles, but that's a different mindset because I got to 62 miles and I still had 40 more to go. So this one's different because I'm going to get to 40 miles and be like, oh, I only have 20 to go. Wow, 50 miles. Oh, I only have 10 to go. So it's a new distance, a new test, a new exciting type of challenge. I want to see how well I can do.
So let's quickly recap because we kind of
this
went
is
through
incredible.
The men. But let's go through the top 10 women that we know have come through this aid station right now, just so that we don't miss that. So again, Heather Jackson coming through, 52 minutes elapsed, followed by a minute back or so, Eden Nilsson. Great to see that. Meg Morgan, young athlete out of Boulder, Colorado, sitting in third. Keely Henninger in fourth. They're followed by Hannah Allgood. Again, she's got her maiden name is going to be what's showing up in the results, but that is Hannah Allgood in fifth, followed very closely by Shea Aquilano, the 21-year-old that we're very excited about. Anna Casius, the 100K road specialist, Sarah Beal, Lottie Brinks. Those are 8th and 9th. We've got Ingvild Kaspersen, Jade Blisberg, 10th and 11th. The Japanese athlete who I don't think we mentioned in our preview, but we'd been talking about off air, Kaneka Edamoto, in 12th, Casey Lichtag in 13th, Tara Dower 14th. So really, Elsa McDonald, interesting, back in 16th right now, right behind Brianna Grigsby. But
the depth is absolutely
insane.
silly.
It's new. Does that mean I can go faster than I went at the 100 miles because it's shorter? I don't know. I don't know how these work. It might just be one long endurance pace, and I don't know what to expect.
You were mentioning how Heather Jackson had made a decisive move before you cut off last time.
Yeah, she was the only decisive move this early on in the race. I mean, she had a minute and a half lead. She looked fantastic. Ida Nelson behind her looked like she was working a little bit harder. And all the women behind her, especially Keely, came through looking happy, excited, fresh, ready to go. And I mean, all within a few minutes of each other. It's going to be really fun to watch that women's field unfold. So much talent and speed in that first 10 to 15 ladies.
Yeah, so we've got we now have 36 men, 37 men, 38 men through Hidden Treasure, which does mean that Heather Jackson should be one of the next people through there. That'll put her through there in, probably 128 and change, which is insane.
I'm competitive with myself. I'm competitive with trying to, be the best I can. So for me, it's, I just want to put together a solid day.
But we are off to a drama-filled start here, the 2023 Black Canyon 100K presented by Hoka. A big thank you to everybody who is working on this broadcast, and a big thank you to everybody who is watching us live.
Heather Jackson
Jackson
running past Leah there on camera, so that puts her into the aid station just under 1:29 on the clock. Dominica's splits at Hidden Treasure were 1:29 last year, so ahead of Dominica's, about 2 minutes, 3 minutes off of Sage Canada's 2016 times, running very, very fast.
Unbelievable. Heather Jackson. Leah, can you hear us?
And Ida through as well.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, you sound so much better, Leah. We just saw Heather.
Okay, guys. Ida and Heather just came through together. Ida leading just a smidge, a second or two. So Ida and Heather are now running together, and we are currently 1:29 through this aid station, which is spot on to Dominica's split, where she just raged on the course last year. Just for reference, Brittany Peterson, when she ran her course record here, she was through here 4 minutes later. So they are up on Brittany's course record splits, but kind of raging like Dominica did last year. And it'll be interesting to see how that turns out later. They looked awesome.
From, let's say, 1:22 on the nose at Hidden Treasure, we've got 16 men within a minute of each other. So very, very tightly bunched.
Unbelievable.
There. And then on the women's side, we'll go over that real quick too. Heather Jackson and Ida Nilsson came in there together, with Ida actually leading Heather into the aid station. They came in at 1:29 on the nose. Dominica's splits from last year at Hidden Treasure. They're followed a couple minutes back by Meg Morgan. Meg Morgan and Keely Henninger virtually in there together. Shea Aquilano in 5. Anna Cassius in 6. Hannah Allgood in 7. There's a little bit more separation back to Ingvild Kaspersen in 8th and Jade Blisberg in 9th. They came through together, and then rounding out the 10th position there was Kanako Adamoto of Japan in 10. So again, 1:33 was 10th, 1:29 was first, about 4 minutes between the top 10 women, but they're bunched together in a couple little groups of 2 or 3.
The runner will have to pretty much, whatever we set up, we can set up by the car.
So the runners come this way?
The other way. They went straight on that little road, and then they have to come to check in.
So they go into the ranch over here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's like a little tent that way, but over it's close.
So, but they run in off that straight road, so we're better off to be on that road.
Yes. So they run through to there, but we're actually probably, so we could set up camp there, but we'll bring the stuff there.
Okay.
And then they'll pop out and then run back out the same way.
But they're coming in like right over here. So our best thing is to just set up like where these.
So there, right next to that's where I was set up with Alex.
Okay.
4K recording.
Yeah. Totally.
Well, we're already at Bumblebee Ranch for Heather's arrival, and got the drop bag set up for all the other athletes, and it's exciting. It's a beautiful day for a run. Hey,
yeah, we're getting the guys.
So this is from the last. This isn't from the last aid station. This is.
But yeah, it's obviously a big stage with a lot of people vying for these golden tickets and for the bragging rights of finishing in the top 10 or on the podium or potentially winning the Black Canyon 100K. It has brought out some of the heavy hitters from across the U.S. and some international athletes, and they are off to the races here today, certainly trying to get the most out of each other. And it just started off quite fast.
Yeah, and interestingly, so we've got what on the clock? 2:14, 2:15 on the clock right now. Based on splits at that last aid station, we should be seeing our leading ladies, if they're on Dominica splits, that would be Heather Jackson and Ida Nilsson, should be coming through here any minute. Claire Gallagher came through here in 2:27 elapsed last year. Brittany Peterson's 2021 splits have her coming through in 2:24, but Heather and Ida were both on Dominica's 2022 splits at Hidden Treasure, again, about 5 miles ago in 1:29 elapsed. So any minute now, we should be seeing Ida Nilsson, the Swedish athlete representing Kraft, and Heather Jackson, the triathlon phenom, cross over into trail and ultra representing Hoka. They should be our next they should be our first women into this aid station, and we should be seeing them any minute now.
And he said yesterday that his favorite race
They are flying.
was the Western
Yeah.
States 100. He was the first European ever to run under 15
What?
hours, which he did, I think,
Look at
in
him.
20.
Dude, what?
The year that
Look how fast they're running.
I don't even care if you're running downhill, man. That is flying.
So I've just confirmed that we now have 30 men under course record pace here 20 miles into this year's race.
Blazing fast.
And the last aid station was 38, so they've slowed down a little bit.
Yeah,
but
that
still.
had a little bit of slowing. But I do think, too, I think in talking to Leah at Hidden Treasure, we had, while the two top women were on Dominica splits, I think we had 6 or so women kind of back through Shea Aquilano on just under Brittany Peterson's splits. So running really, really fast in that front half. Leah mentioned that she thought that the group right outside the top 10, including Sarah Beal and Elsa McDonald, might be the group that she would personally want to be in, maybe running a little bit more of a attacked heavy race, a little bit hoping for some carnage.
Yeah, there she is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heather! We're right here.
Oh, Heather Jackson is in the aid. We have footage of her.
Goodness.
So Ida Nilsson should be in the aid as well.
Your stuff here?
You want to change your shirt?
Your shirt?
No.
You want to grab your handhelds?
I gotta go to the bathroom now.
Bathroom?
Okay.
Sorry.
Heather Jackson making quick work of that aid station transition. We've got Zach Marion there. We're going to try and get him potted up to get live interpretation of how that went down. Zach,
Heather
hang tight a
Jackson,
second.
9 minutes under Brittany.
Zach, we're trying to get your audio up, so bear with us here. AJW in studio has confirmed that Heather Jackson is 9 minutes under Brittany Peterson's course record splits from 2021.
Yeah, it looks like she's separated herself from Ida Nilsson, but our splits to this aid station are a little bit delayed.
Still good?
Yeah.
Still good.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah. I went down like 3 times. Okay.
Good. Good job.
Thanks.
I mean, astonishing to remember how fast Dominica was moving last year. I mean, Heather here well under course record pace and over Dominica's splits from the same aid station last year. Of course, Dominica faded in the second half of the race, still
held on
for a fantastic, proud second place performance and a golden ticket to Western States. But I know she was suffering mightily. Claire Gallagher recounted the story of her passing her late in the race, Dominica looking over her shoulder for who was coming behind her, but she was able to power through for that second place. But it will be interesting to see if that similar fading occurs for race leader Heather Jackson here as she makes her way into what is the more challenging section of the course.
So she's looking solid. Second girl is not in yet. They were running together somehow. She said she went down 3 times. She looked good though. She looked good. She looked strong. Had to do a pit stop in the bathroom. 30 seconds and on her way.
Yeah, it's a whole, I mean, she is the next chunk, let's call it the middle 20 miles of the course, I think are probably some of the worst miles of
Here's
the course.
Ida. Yeah, there's Ida Nilsson exiting the aid station in the orange top.
Jinx. So, yeah, we've got Heather and Ida out of this aid station. We'll try to get an official split
I mean, it's
to
worth
Ida.
mentioning Corinne. Just what was it, 5 miles ago or so, Ida led Heather into the Hidden Treasure aid station. Here they are. I guess it's about 6 miles later. Heather's got a fairly significant gap now, probably a couple of minutes or so over Ida Nilsson. It could be that Heather put in a conscious effort, a conscious surge to try and get that gap over Ida. Ida could have potentially had to take a quick break or may have had a fall or something like that, but certainly the gap has opened in the women's race in the top 2.
We're heading to Black Canyon, second crew aid station, and we're gonna set up our little aid station for Heather. Have everything ready for when she comes.
How far is that one from here? Is it 18 or 20 miles? Something like that, right?
Yeah, it's about 18, I think. I don't know. We'll have to double check on that. We'll get back.
Right.
Okay.
Leo, we're looking at an aerial of somebody who may or may not be Ida Nilsson wearing a similar kit. Orange top. If this isn't the case that Ida Nilsson is now the race leader, it means
I think she's wearing a navy blue top, unless she changed.
She might have changed. We're getting footage of a...
Okay. Jamil might have eyes on Heather Jackson coming into Gloriana here, maybe a few hundred meters, quarter mile out or so. So we'll keep you guys posted with what we see here.
Great. Cool. All right. So don't go anywhere to our viewing audience. We should see the women's leaders here any second.
As predicted, we thought under 3 hours.
Yeah, Heather Jackson coming into Gloriana.
So
and there's a runner with her. Can't tell who it is right at this moment.
Cool. We'll try to get good splits here.
We got Caleb Schiff from Pizza Clutta, right? Coming into the aid station here.
All right. Caleb Schiff. Shout out. Race sponsor. Broadcast sponsor, at least.
Okay, so looks like we have Heather Jackson with no other women running with her here.
All right. Heather Jackson, your race leader.
254. That's fast.
That's very fast.
254, 255. I
She's
think
wearing
on
a
the
long
nose.
sleeve shirt.
Hopefully she's soaking it down, getting that sun protection.
And she is through that aid station.
No stopping. Oh my goodness.
10 minutes ahead of Brittany Peterson's time.
Unbelievable. 10 minutes ahead of Brittany Peterson's course record splits, 24 miles into this year's Black Canyon 100K, not even stopping at the aid station. Mark that down,
She's going to be a fun
folks.
one to watch at Western States.
No question
Her
about
race
it.
strategy is exciting.
Yes, and she is, again, very inexperienced in ultras. This is only her second ultramarathon, hot off the front, well under course record pace, and not stopping at a critical aid station here. This is how you learn, folks. And Heather Jackson certainly has all the tools to be a fantastic ultra runner. But, yeah, as we all know, you got to learn along the way. Let's see if she can put it together.
So
how many miles to the next aid station, you guys?
7.5.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a long stretch.
A big thing is going to be nutrition. I haven't raced in a while to be on top of that and remember, okay, the fueling. It's especially going to be cold in the morning. So if you get behind on nutrition, it'll be similar to an Ironman. You're going to pay the price in the end. So.
Yeah, and it's kind of up on a climb, like you're waiting for it to come, and you're just like, it's never, you feel like you're never gonna get to that aid station. You're like, is it at the top of this climb? No. Is it at the top of this climb? No. And you're like starting to pity yourself a little bit, which is a little bit too early in the race to be pitying yourself, I think. But from personal experience, I was very desperate to find the Soap Creek aid station.
Really?
Yeah. Which is at mile 31.
Yeah, so it seems like we've got a little gap now between Heather and the rest of the field. Last time we saw Heather, I think Ida was close behind, if not with her. Now this is a little gap.
Yeah, Heather had about just under 2 minutes on Ida at Bumblebee. So right now we should be expecting Ida, if that's going to hold, very, very shortly. But it does look like Heather is extending that lead a little bit over Ida Nilsson.
What an incredible athlete, Heather Jackson from Bend, Oregon, who has done a lot of her training, even going back to her triathlon days nearby here in Scottsdale, Arizona, finding a home here in trail running, racing with courage in the lead here at the Black Canyon 100K through 24 miles as we await second place runner who we expect to be from the group of Ida Nilsson, Keely Henninger, and Hannah Allgood.
Where we're at right now on as far as on the men's side. And on the women's side, the story is obviously Heather Jackson and what she's doing out there.
Yeah, incredible. But also interesting, too, to note that with Heather already in the race in Western States, this chase pack is the story. I mean, is the second story. Let's go back to our preview show on Thursday.
Yes.
You made a relatively bold prediction of Ida Nielsen, and I was a little bit more maybe concerned about her potential injury status. It looks like she's come to play today.
I got to be honest, AJW, I like my chances on this if the race is close in the second half. And we discussed this at dinner last night. Yeah. We had a great media dinner with everybody, so shout out to all the team. Yeah. They were able to make it. But I believe that Ida is – I mean, I'm not saying that Heather can't do it. Heather's obviously very talented. Yeah. But Ida has done a lot of climbing in the desert over the years. I mean, as we talked about during our preview show, she has the course record at the Crown King Scramble 50K, which was previously an Ann Trayson record. Yeah. That's a pretty amazing mark to have. And the second half of this race is where all the climbing is. Yeah. And I'm not saying that Heather Jackson, is not capable, because at Haviland 100, she obviously did hold the lead for well past 60 miles. But miles 40 to 60 on this course are far different than miles 40 to 60 out at Javelina. So I think that there's going to be a different dynamic. My comfort in knowing that Ida has experience in these hills, so to speak, is why I really feel still pretty good about my pick. Now I have Heather still in my top 5. I mean, it would be a very bold strategy to not put her there in your fantasy picks, but...
Yeah, I think it's a little more manageable in my head of like, okay, when I come through, well, I'll come through and see you around mile 19 or 20, and then I'll see you again at 37, and I think that's where it's really going to start because, well, one, everyone's talking about the course and how that's where it gets really technical, more hilly, but it's also, you still have almost a marathon at that point, so for me, it's like getting off the bike, so I've just swam and biked, and now I've got a final marathon to run. So, yeah, that's kind of how I'm visualizing it in my head.
It looks like we've got a shot.
Looks like we've got...
I would assume we're going to be seeing Heather Jackson or one of the other women coming up here really quick.
Heather Jackson, Ida, and Keely is right behind Ida. So, as I predicted, she's going to move herself up there. She's going to put herself in contention for not only a ticket but a potential win today. We've got the girls coming up this road here, so let's keep an eye on that.
Yeah, let's keep it with you, Zach. Let's keep it with you, Zach, so we can get a little insight on how this trio of top women are looking on this climb up here. And you said you're before the aid station, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We are not even 100 yards away from the aid station. So we've got this climb. They're going to crest up over here in a second. Keep climbing past us. They're going to drop, just a couple feet into the aid station. And here she is, Heather Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. She is just putting on a clinic today. Probably enjoying this nice little brief bit of cloud cover.
This footage is fantastic. This is $1 million shot right here. The beauty of the background, the amazing Heather Jackson making her way into the aid station at Soap Creek, the halfway point of the Black Canyon 100K. Folks, this is about where most 100Ks begin. And, it's open to debate whether it starts here or at Black Canyon City, but we're definitely seeing a race because it sounds like Ida Nielsen is hot on her heels. And as you know, Zach, from running out here in the desert, Ida, having set that Crown King course record a few years ago, she can chew up hills if you can win that race and set a course record.
Wow, that was a 8-second stop for Heather.
She's already out.
Gone.
She was in, got her water, gone. That's all she asked for was water. She had her gels in her hand. She is racing this with strategy, with discipline. And as you guys saw, she came up that hill, just, I'm fine. She just was casual about it. Like, you can tell she's working. She's this far into the race, but she doesn't look like she's any further than where we're at right now. So she is racing a great race from an effort output and mentally, emotionally. She looked fantastic.
We're going to, as you can see right now, we're pivoting our visuals to the drone shot. We are actually getting eyes here on Heather Jackson as she approaches one of the cattle gates in between Soap Creek and Black Canyon City. So do you think she goes around or over or opens it up? Do you think she opens the gate, crawls through, or goes over the bike ramp. I'm kind of curious.
There we go. Let's see. She's going over it.
She goes over the bike.
She goes over it. You get a quarter.
Talk about a like a fantasy thing, like almost like a
Looking good. Thank you, Ryan.
So you got an idea? Is that past the fork that we were at the Black Canyon Fork?
No, she's not
okay.
to the junction, the Y junction yet. Okay, so she just crossed the river, so she's actually got the big climb ahead of her right now.
We're waiting for HJ. She's just a few minutes away. We've got everything prepared for her to move on to the next aid station. We'll see her once more before the finish line. And until then, we're just doing our best to help her out.
Yeah, keep her moving, keep her motivated.
Absolutely, keep all the fluids in her. We have some salty potatoes. We've got but everything for her. So get her all ready for the final.
As you can see, that climb is no joke. We've got eyes on the course where actually Heather Jackson is heading her way up the hill, moving really well. Again, I am impressed at anybody that's taking these switchbacks. You can see how steep that is. It's literally multiple, it's no joke, that climb. So the fact that she's taking it so aggressively here, when she gets to the top, she'll have a short, flatter run and then head down to the Y junction and down from there into Black Canyon City. But yeah, you can see that's a climb.
We have a chase
Heather
cam
Jackson
now on Heather Jackson. Wow, does she continue to look smooth?
Yeah, she's definitely not climbing anymore. But yeah, she's on the ridge and probably really close to the Y. I don't know if the cam can hear us, but yeah, tilt up a little bit. Awesome. Thank you. Moving and looking very well.
This is bringing me right back to Javelina, where she looked metronomical in that first 100K, and then of course the distance caught up with her. But man, so try fans out there on the chat, here's your gal, and she is crushing it.
Cam, just a heads up that a scorching quick Heather Jackson is on her way down the hill towards you.
Yep.
Guys, that is mind-blowing. I think the fastest split ever through here was Dominica last year, and she ran 4 hours, 50 minutes, which is in about 6 minutes. And the fastest split before that was Elsa McDonald, was 4:52. And for context, 5 hours usually wins the 60K race tomorrow into here. So the 60K race will finish here tomorrow, and 5 hours is typically the win. 4:45 to 4:50 into here right now is pretty mind-blowing and a hot pace. So really, really curious to see how she's looking whenever she rolls into here. But from the live feed, looks like she's moving very well.
But, she is only a minute or two behind from the looks of things Dominica's time from last year. And Dominica looked like she was running like her hair was on fire last year.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see if Heather is able to maintain where Dominica was not able to last year. Because the second half really
it's interesting with this race strategy. Last year True Heart went out hot and held on for first, but there was some fast closers between Scott and Jeff right behind him, but he held on to first, whereas Dominica couldn't quite hold on and got closed in on by Claire in the last couple miles. So I think this could work out definitely to withhold a podium position, but I'm hoping she can stay strong in the second half, because that'll be a really exciting story to tell.
And Heather Jackson has just hit the road, so she is going to be running this, maybe quarter-mile stretch and then take a hard right down into your aid station. You'll be seeing her in about 60 seconds, 75 seconds, give or take. So.
Awesome. Yeah, so this will be right between that Dominica and Elsa McDonald split.
Yeah.
Which is right on par for about that 9 hour, 8:50 to 9 hour finish, I'd imagine.
And she's trucking. That's a slight uphill right there that she's running up as well. So, she's looking amazing.
She really is.
So, yeah, we should be expecting Heather Jackson then rolling through Black Canyon City any minute now. Not exactly sure where her crew is, but we'll get all eyes on her whenever she comes through here.
She had a posse at the expo yesterday. She rolled in and she looked like a rock star. Like if you didn't know who she was, you knew she was somebody. It was actually pretty cool to see. It was very
She's the Anton
epic.
of triathlon. I told you that.
Oh, here she comes. Here she comes, you guys.
There
She is
she
still
is.
wearing a long sleeve shirt. Yeah, she's running well.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, she looks fantastic.
It's looking like
She looks
452, 453. So just like you said, right in between Dominica and Elsa.
And she is.
Whoa.
Right here. Okay.
Oh, God. Let's rally, gang.
Yeah. Thanks, that Red Bull. Red Bull.
Here, pull your top off.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Red Bull. Payday or no?
We'll probably be able to need shoes. Shoe change. Cold sponge.
Ice cold sponge.
Squeeze it over you.
Ice. You probably need the ice. You want the ice?
Okay.
Should we just do that? Like go right outside?
Yeah. You got an ice bandana. Save time to save time.
All right. Do you need your belt? Sorry about that. You want potatoes?
What about Vaseline? Tylenol?
Perfect. Maybe on the next one. I rolled my ankle.
Oh, we got Ida Nielsen coming through the aid station right now.
Wow!
Whoa!
Amazing.
She still looks decent, guys, and she's got
her aid
she's got
station.
ice
Okay.
bandana.
Her
She's
crew's
gonna
right there.
slap on. Oh, and we got Keely right behind her.
Oh, my goodness.
Love it.
She looks awesome.
Game on.
Folks, we have ourselves a heck of a race right now.
Ida is heading out.
Where we want. I remember this. This goes all the way to it. Yeah. Okay.
This is going to be a race, and while there have been some people saying like, well, Heather's already in Western States, she doesn't have to win. That's not what today's about. When you're a competitor like Heather, you're here to win.
Yep.
Same with Tom Evans. It's not just a tune-up. You don't want to tune up for second place. Like they're out here to win. There's enough time to recover and put in their training block for Western States.
So Keely's now leading. Heather past Ida. Ida's in third.
Wow. It's just
So that should be the order we will likely see through here. Oh, this is sick.
Matt
we got Keely in first with her pacer, Colleen.
Our producer,
and then
Matt,
Heather
is
Jackson.
raging right next to us.
Holy crap, this is wild.
So we have
Good
the
job,
top
Keely.
3 coming in.
Yeah, Keely.
So was that Keely and
Heather's
Heather
next.
together? Or
Heather's right here. Heather's like 10 seconds back.
All right, Heather. Shoes.
Red Bull.
Yeah. Right. Red Bull. Ice. All right.
Here's Ida. We got the camera on Ida here. She looks tired.
okay, so Ida looks perhaps the most tired of the 3.
We got 2 more.
You want ice on that bandana?
Coming out of this aid station, you gotta have legs for the next 3 miles.
You're doing great. You look so good.
But Keely's out with Grayson Murphy as pacer. Ida Nielsen's going to get sponged down. So she hasn't been carrying any ice today or anything. She's just been dousing with water when she can.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, great work.
Yeah, Ida looks a little tired. And we got Heather Jackson coming out right here.
Good energy.
So we've got
Yeah,
roughly a 20-second gap across the podium right now?
I mean, yeah, that is insane.
All right, so you're looking good. It's about 10 miles now.
Okay.
And you just went through the hardest part.
Okay.
So this is gonna get a little bit easier. Make a left right here. Yeah, so just go for it, Heather. You got this. We'll see you at the finish line.
Oh yeah, this has been such a fantastic day of racing, and after 8 hours and 40 minutes, nothing is set in stone yet. We're still kind of at the edges of our seat. I can see Grayson throwing her hands up in celebration.
Okay, so last aid station, Heather's running 14 seconds behind First Lady, so it's going to be a sprint to the finish. 14 seconds, it's absolutely nothing. So we'll see.
How many miles to go?
It's about 3 miles, so thinking about 20 minutes. Maybe they push it a little harder, maybe less than 20 minutes, but she's coming.
Man, what a moment for Keely. I just think this is so much hard work, dedication, knowing herself the last couple years and just making a calm and collected return to the sport, return to health. And I think just a perfectly and beautifully executed race today and just absolutely so well deserved.
Absolutely. I mean, whether or not this race even had a golden ticket, to execute a performance like this, like that's worthy of celebration on its own. She is going to sneak in a few minutes under the previous course record set by Brittany Peterson. This is Keely Henninger of Portland, Oregon, everybody. Athlete for Ultra.
With an amazing performance of 8:45.30, this is your new course record holder.
We had even less time to celebrate with our women's winner because we had to cut to second place that is coming in. This has been a battle all day. Heather Jackson set this early pace. It was like way under course record pace.
Heather Jackson, second ultra marathon of her career so far in our sport,
and I would say a big improvement over Heather's performance at Javelina.
Huge.
Yeah,
and
I think so too.
I think she's already one of the best in this sport.
I mean,
she just said she ate shit like 20 times.
Yeah, a few more rocks in that Javelina course.
How was it? That was so hard. Oh my gosh. That was way harder than Javelina.
Yeah.
It was just constant up and down and like loose rock, and I took like so many falls. It was insane, and like the girls were so close. Like I went back and forth with so many different women out there all day long. So it was like cool. It was like racing over 62 miles, which is crazy. Yeah, but it was